Okay, so today we're going to talk about the Hot Avatar Audit. This is about getting super clear on your perfect fit prospect so that you can eliminate all the noise that's out there and they actually tune in and they listen to you. By the way, if you haven't got the workbook for this yet, then just comment workbook below and I'll get a copy of that to you. If you're watching this on my page, there should be a button just down below. You can click on that and drop in your details and you'll get a copy as well. All right, so let's get started. It's a bit like being in a lineup, and you've all seen this on our TV shows that we like to watch, and you see that the person behind the glass who cannot be seen comes in and they've actually got to pick the right person. And that's what it's a little bit like when we're finding out who it is that we want to serve. We love to serve people. We love to help. We love to get clients, all these things. But what I want to do is make sure that just like that lineup, I show you how to get the right person. Imagine in a lineup, if you pick the wrong person, right? Well, that can also happen in our coaching practice. All right, so this is all part of the first module of the Growth Accelerator, where we're looking at audience alignment. In fact, I said the first, it's the second. This is where we're getting into audience alignment. This is where we're making sure that you've got the right, the perfect fit clients. And today we're going to be talking about the Hot Avatar. All right, so if I click on the right button, it tends to work a little bit better, doesn't it? So see, when you've got the currency clarifier, which we've done before, you know exactly what it is that they're looking for. And now we want to make sure that we've got the right person. Because when you've got these two things together, you've actually got an audience. Right? And an audience is something that's listening. An audience wants to actually be there. It's not just about, I'm putting stuff out there and there's a billion people on Facebook, so therefore I've got an audience. No, an audience is a lot more specific than that, and they actually respond. All right, so let's have a look at some of the challenges when we do this. All right, so let's lay a little bit of a platform here, and then I'm going to show you how to actually go through this process so that you do get the right person. All right, so three elements here we want to look at when we're attracting potential clients. The first thing is mindset. It's all about our thinking. The second thing is the market that we choose. And then the third thing is the message, how we're going to communicate to them. All right, so let's just have a look at what happens within each of these. All right, so if we have a look at our mindset that we're going into this, what I see a lot of coaches do is the mindset is all about me. Their website's all about me. Everything's all about me. Look at me. I do this. I do that. I'm a coach. I'm a this. So it's me focused. But when we get this right, instead of it being focused on you, it's focused on them. Their needs, their thoughts, their desires, the way that they language it, their problems. Then we'll take a look at the market. So when most coaches look at the market, what they do is they go, I want to make some money. I want to get some clients. So it's very, very broad. So it's basically anyone out there who sort of fits what I do, come and speak to me. And the challenge with that is, though, that they don't come and speak, right? But what we want to do is we want to be really specific. We want to make sure that we go narrow and then deep with that particular person or people group. All right, and then we got our message. So now that we've got these things right, we've got to start communicating. And the challenge is when we get this wrong, our message is irrelevant. It doesn't fit. And the problem with that is that they tune out. They don't listen to the message. when you're scrolling on TikTok, if there's something there that doesn't catch you and it's nothing to do with you, what do? You scroll on. So whether you're on TikTok, any sort of social media, whether you're reading something in LinkedIn, a blog, an email, anything, if it doesn't fit you, if it's irrelevant, right? And I don't think you'd spell irrelevant that way, but hey, you know what I mean, then they're going to walk on by. So what we want to do when we go through this process is our message is actually in sync. It's, in sync with what it is that they're thinking about, right? We're actually entering a conversation that they're already having in their own head. So it's in sync with their thoughts. It's in sync with their actual, stage of where they are right now in life. All right, so how do we do this? So as I said, the first thing is we want to get rid of this "it's all about me" mentality, right? The second big mistake is I see this scattergun approach. So if I, shoot out my shotgun there, someone will get hit with my message. And the problem with that, as I said, is irrelevant messaging. Now, what that leads to is a trickling lead flow. Gives us inconsistent sales results, and we end up with wrong fit clients. We end up, having clients that, yay, I got a client. Oh gosh, I just bought myself a year's worth of pain because they're not quite what I was looking for, but I just took them on anyway, right? Because my messaging promised that, and that's what we did. All right, so we're going to switch things around for you today. We're going to be more prospect focused. We're going to have a look at them. We're going to enter the conversation that's going on in their head. We're going to use their language palette, all those sort of things. And we're going to do some research so that we actually do that. And we're going to speak to a specific person. If there's one thing that I've learnt over the last few years, and that is everything, whether I'm writing a blog, whether I'm having a conversation on a social media platform, whatever, even though we might be speaking to volumes of people, we've got to make sure that that person is thinking that we're speaking to them individually. All right, so it's a specific person that we want to talk to. Now, when we say person, we're talking about a person representative, and I'll go through that in a moment. And the third thing is we want to speak to a specific problem, or indeed small set of problems. Right now, this guy or lady is stuck on the side of the road with a flat tire. What is the specific problem they have? They need to change the tire. Right? So the more specific that we can be, the better. All right. So, my screen is playing silly games, but that's okay. Instead of having a trickling lead flow, what that's going to lead to is a prolific lead flow, like a fire hydrant, where you've got leads coming. But more than that, it's going to give you conversion confidence because you're going to be speaking to the right person. Right? You're going to be able to speak up and know that they're going to say yes. And you end up with perfect fit clients. Right? Now that's good for you, and it's really good for them. Because what we do is we're taking people through a journey from here to here, and if we've got the right people, they've got the problems you solve. So it's good for them. They're going to get the results, and it's good for you. All right. So in your workbook, by the way, if you haven't got a copy of the workbook yet, if you're watching this on the live, then just comment down below. Just say workbook and I'll get it to you. If you're watching in the replay, same thing. If you're watching this on my page, just down below this video, there'll be a button you can press, put in your name and email, and it will send you a copy of the workbook. All right. So what I've got here for you is the Hot Avatar Audit. And an audit is a fantastic word to use because that's exactly what we've got to do. It's a logical process that we're going through to get some data about our perfect fit avatar. So the first thing we want to do is come up with a name, right? So let's say, and with an avatar, with what I'm doing with coaches, I call my avatar Sue. Now, Sue, as I said, is a representative of what my perfect fit client looks like. Now, I've got there as well, there's some places where you can do some research for some of these things. We're not going to go through all this now, but you can see, Amazon, book reviews, Quora, social media groups, Google search, existing customers. There's some gold there, right? If you've got customers, clients already, and they're perfect fit, you're helping them to solve their problems, and they're getting a good experience and getting great results, and they love you, and it's all working well. That is a good indicator of the perfect fit avatar. So you can get some information from them as well. All right. So what we want to do is just break this up a little bit. So we've got a 4-quadrant model here, which I want to make sure you can see the whole thing. All right. So what we're going to be looking at is 2 different tangents here. So some people are moving away from something and moving towards something else. So we're going to look at those 2 areas. We also want to look at now and in the future. All right. So 4 areas we're going to look at using that model. Okay. So the first area we're going to look at, which is moving away from and now, we need to look at what are the biggest frustrations. Whoa, wrong pen, Grant. You don't have to be too good to be able to do this. What are the frustrations and pain points that they are going through right now? Okay. Now, when we want to do this, we want to make sure that we're not being too creative here. We don't want to make it up in marketing speak. We want to say it just like they would say it. Right? If they were to answer this question, if only I could, and it was something they want to get rid of, right? What would they say? So that's what we want to be doing. And this is going to take some effort. Team, this isn't a 5-minute deal. This isn't a do this really quickly and then get back out there and start selling. This is put in some good quality time to make sure that we've got this audit done, and then tweak and adjust it as we learn more about our avatar. So that's the first area. So also in the moving away, we want to look at the fears and consequences. So what that means is if I continue to go through these frustrations, I fear this is going to happen. Right? So if it's a coach that I'm working with, if their frustration is not enough clients, then I fear I'm going to have to go back to getting a job. Okay? So we want to do what's the effect right now and what's the future. Okay. So then if we shift gears and we come over to the other side. So looking at the now, this is what do they want instead? So what are their wants and desires? What do they want right now? Now, this is really good because whatever you've written here has an opposite. Okay? So once again, though, we want to make sure that we know this to be the case. So what do they want? So if it's not enough clients, what do they want? Clients. Okay? If it's, I don't have an online program, I can't seem to get it happening, it's, they want an online program that people are buying. You get this. You're very smart. People. All right. So then we go to the 4th area, which is future and towards. So they're moving towards that. And it's what are their bigger dreams and aspirations? So when they do all this stuff, what is it actually leading them to? Okay, so I want to be making, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month consistently so that I can have some time off. I can create this in my lifestyle. So they're the 4 areas that we want to work in. Okay, so to do that, you've got a second sheet there. And once again, we've got the avatar's name, which is in my case, Sue. And here what we're going to be doing is describing the avatar. We're going to be real specific about this. Okay, as specific as you can. The more specific, the better. What do you know about their routines, their patterns, their family, their work, their values, their lifestyle? You could probably add to the list. The more you know, the better. You see, I know that Sue is an amazing coach. I know that Sue has done some great coach training. I know that Sue is, the conversation that Sue's having is all around imposter syndrome. It's all around self-doubt. I know, that they are 35 to 55 years of age because that's the sort of stage of life that they're in. I know what they want is to create not just income, they want to have influence in their sphere, and they want to make a big impact. So and more things get added there. So the more you know, the better. So here's some of the things that we can look at. Firstly, we look at demographics. So things like gender, the age. Now with the age, I like to do a bit of a range there. It's not just, they're 26. That's going to limit your market a little bit. We're not, because what we're doing there is we want to get a picture of people who are at a stage. So for some people, the age range might be really short. For others, it's a little bit bigger. But the more specific we can be, the better. Where are they located? Are they just in your town? Are they in your state, your country, or are they in parts of the world or globally? Does that really matter? What's their current income? Now, in this case, because I know that sometimes coaches don't just have their coaching practice. However, my avatar is full-time coaches. So therefore, their income that I want there is what's the income that they're currently getting from their coaching practice? What's their relationship status? Okay, those sort of things. Then we want to look at psychographics. These are things like, well, what are they interested in? Who are the gurus they follow? Who are the authors they like to read? What are the publications that they subscribe to? What are the associations and the groups that they belong to? And what are the sort of things they buy? What are their buying habits? So the more that you know about this particular person, the better. Now, I know what you're saying. I know what's going on in your head right now. You're going, yeah, but Grant, if I do that, if I get that narrow and I find out about these people and I pick that one particular, what about all these other people that I could be coaching that I'm leaving money on the table? Okay, I hear you. I had that same thought, and it held me back from doing this for quite some time. But let me tell you, when you get really, really specific about this particular person, you are able to create a message and a solution which fits them like a glove. And when you have a conversation, they listen. So what we need to do is, firstly, as I said, we need to shift that mindset around throw enough mud on the wall and some will stick to, no, I'm only going to throw my mud there. I'm only going to speak to those particular people. So you've got a couple of pages there to go through. You might need, some more pages as well, blank paper to do this. But what I want to encourage you to do is invest some quality time in doing that. Just like I always do with the worksheets, there's a place there for you to, take some notes. And if you've got questions, write them down. And happy for you to ask them in the group if you're in the group, or if you're watching this on my page, then there's a way that you can contact me. Just hit reply to any one of the emails. So what are your biggest insights? What are the insights that you got out of this training? What's something that shifted in your thinking? What's something that you could do differently moving forward? More importantly than that is once you know that, what are you going to do? How are you going to take that and then actually use it in your practice so that you can increase your influence, your income, and make a bigger impact in the world? And lastly, when you do that, when you get more specific, when you are creating a message that's really being listened to and there's a two-way conversation going on, what is the impact that that's going to have on your practice? What's the impact it's going to have on you? And overall, how is that going to help you to get what your desires are, what your aspirations are? You see, just like you, your perfect fit clients have got things that they don't want in their life anymore. And they've got things that they want instead. So I encourage you to go through this process. By the way, once again, if you haven't got the workbook, just if you're watching this in the replay, just put workbook down below. I'll make sure that you get a copy. If you're watching this on YouTube or in my on my page, there's a button or a link there that you can click on, put in your name and email. It'll give you a copy of the workbook. I cannot stress enough that this is something that is vital so that you rise above the noise. The more specific, the less noise, right? They're tuning in to a specific channel so that it's only you and them talking, and they can't hear all the other coaches.